You can't move, you can't scream, and something is standing at the end of your bed. Story 1. It always starts with a sound, not a loud one, but a deep, humming vibration that seems to rise from the floorboards and fill my skull. That's how I know I'm trapped. Tonight the hum was followed by the familiar weight, a crushing pressure on my chest as if a tombstone had been laid over me. My eyes fluttered open. The room was bathed in the sickly orange glow of a street lamp outside, casting long, warped shadows. I tried to move, to call out to my partner, Sarah, sleeping beside me. But my body was a leaden suit, my vocal cords paralyzed. The scream was a silent, frantic shriek inside my head. Panic began its icy crawl up my spine. My gaze, locked forward, darted around the room. That's when I saw it. It wasn't standing at the foot of the bed, the classic cliché. It was hunched over Sarah. A tall, gaunt silhouette, a tear in the fabric of the dim light. It had no face, just a deeper patch of darkness where one should be. It leaned down, its form impossibly long, until its head was inches from hers. I couldn't hear a thing, but I knew, with a certainty that defied logic, that it was whispering to her. My mind screamed, "Wake up! Move, Sarah, get away from it!" I poured every ounce of my will into twitching a finger, a toe, anything. The humming in my ears grew louder, a hornet's nest of static. The figure didn't seem to notice my struggle. Its entire focus was on the sleeping woman beside me, a predator studying its prey. With a final desperate surge of adrenaline, I broke free. A raw gasp tore from my throat, and I lurched upright, drenched in sweat. The room was empty. The crushing weight was gone. Sarah stirred, startled by my sudden movement. "What? What's wrong?" she mumbled, her eyes still heavy with sleep. "A nightmare," I breathed, my heart hammering against my ribs. "The paralysis. I saw something. It was over you." Her face went pale in the gloom. She sat up fully, pulling the sheets to her chin. Tall? Like a shadow with no face? A cold knot formed in my stomach. "Yes. How did you know?" Her voice trembled, dropping to a horrified whisper. "Because I had it too. The paralysis. I was trying to scream for you." She took a shaky breath, her eyes wide with a terror that mirrored my own. "But the one I saw," she stammered. "It wasn't standing over me." "It was hunched on your chest, right where you were lying. It had these long, spider-like fingers, and they were an inch from your face." Story 2. It began as a pressure, a dead weight settling on my chest. My eyes fluttered open to the familiar geography of my bedroom ceiling, but the rest of my body was a leaden statue. A scream, hot and frantic, died in my throat, a silent bubble of panic. I was awake, but I was a prisoner in my own flesh. That's when I saw it. In the corner of the room, where the shadows from the streetlights didn't reach, the darkness seemed to congeal. It was a distortion at first, a column of deeper black against the gray. My logical mind, what little of it I could command, screamed sleep paralysis, a hypnagogic hallucination, a trick of a half-waking brain. Then it moved. It didn't walk. It flowed, gliding across the floorboards without a sound. A tall, thin silhouette, devoid of features but radiating a palpable malevolence that made the air in the room turn cold and sharp. The pressure on my chest intensified, each imagined breath a ragged battle. I could only watch, my eyes wide and stinging, as it stopped at the foot of my bed. It just stood there, observing me in my helpless state. After an eternity that was likely only a minute, with a final crushing surge of pressure, it dissolved, and I gasped, lurching upright in a cold sweat, my heart hammering against my ribs. The second night was worse. It didn't wait in the corner. I awoke to the paralysis, the familiar cement blanket pinning me down, and it was already there, standing beside my bed. This time, I could almost make out the suggestion of a head, tilted as if in curiosity. The silence in the room was a physical thing, thick and viscous. I fought, trying to twitch a finger, to make a sound, to break the spell. The figure leaned closer, a void in the shape of a man, and I felt a cold that had nothing to do with the temperature. It was the chilling absence of life, of warmth. Again, I woke with a jolt, the paralysis snapping like a frayed rope. For days, I dreaded the sunset. I read everything I could about sleep paralysis, clinging to scientific explanations like a holy text. It was just my brain, I told myself. Stress, lack of REM sleep. Tonight, I tried to stay awake, but exhaustion won. I awoke paralyzed, and it was already on top of me. Not a weight, but a presence. A lean, shadowy form straddling my hips, its featureless face inches from mine. I could feel no breath, but the cold was so intense it burned my skin. The scream was a volcano in my mind, a tectonic shifting of pure terror. I felt my sanity fraying, the line between nightmare and reality eroding into dust. With a final, monumental effort, a surge of will born from absolute dread, I broke free. I shot up, thrashing, gasping for air that felt like fire in my lungs. The room was empty. The weight was gone. It was over. Sobbing with relief, I scrambled out of bed and flicked on the lamp. The warm, yellow light chased the shadows away. It was just a dream. A recurring, horrifying, scientifically explainable dream. I needed water. My hands shaking, I turned toward the door. That's when I saw them. Leading from the corner of the room, to the foot of the bed, and then to the side where it had leaned over me, were footprints. Dark, wet, and perfectly formed on the dry hardwood floor, as if someone had just walked in from a storm. But it hadn't rained in over a week. Story 3. It begins with a hum. Not a sound from the world, but a low-frequency vibration inside my skull. My eyes flutter open to the familiar deep gray of my bedroom at 3 a.m. The digital clock on the nightstand casts a faint, blood-red glow. I try to roll over, to nudge my husband, Liam, awake, but my body refuses. My limbs are stone. My head is pinned to the pillow. A scream forms in my mind, a frantic, desperate thing, but it dies in my throat, choked off by immovable muscles. Panic, cold and sharp, floods my veins. It's happening again. Then I see it. It's not in the corner this time, not a vague smudge of deeper darkness. It's standing at the foot of the bed, tall, impossibly thin. Its form is a tear in the fabric of the room's shadows. It has no face, only a sense of ancient, malevolent attention fixed on me. A crushing weight descends on my chest, as if a tombstone has been laid upon my ribs. I can't breathe. Each failed gasp is a ragged, silent sob. My eyes, the only part of me that can move, dart frantically around the room, seeking an anchor to reality. The moonlight on the curtains, the pile of clothes on the chair. Liam, sleeping peacefully beside me, his breathing a slow, steady rhythm in the suffocating silence. The figure takes a step. The movement is unnatural, a glitch in motion, like a frame missing from a film. It glides around the bed, its presence an icy draft that raises goosebumps on my paralyzed skin. It isn't coming for me. It stops beside Liam. A new, more potent terror seizes me. I am no longer fighting for myself. I am fighting for him. Wake up, move, scream, do something. My mind shrieks, but my body is a useless prison of flesh and bone. The shadow thing leans down, its featureless head hovering inches from his face. A long, skeletal finger extends from its formless mass, and gently, almost tenderly, traces the line of his jaw. I watch, a helpless spectator to this obscene intimacy. The pressure on my chest intensifies until I feel my consciousness begin to fray, the blackness at the edge of my vision closing in. No, please, not him. With a final, monumental surge of will, I focus all my energy on a single finger. Wiggle, just wiggle. The world shatters. I gasp, a huge, shuddering intake of air, and bolt upright in bed. My heart hammers against my ribs. The room is empty. The crushing weight is gone. Sunlight is beginning to soften the edges of the window. I turn to Liam, my hands trembling. Liam, I choke out, ready to tell him about the horrifying dream, the figure. He's already sitting up, his face pale and slick with sweat. He's staring at me with wide, terrified eyes. "My God," he whispers, his voice shaking. "I couldn't move. I couldn't help you. It was right there, standing over you."